this is Larry Robinson with Prairieland FS, and we're here with another Insight Minute. Today we're in eastern Morgan County. We're just kind of been looking at some soybeans, and today I've got Mark McQueen. He's our crop specialist out of New Berlin, Illinois, and we're just kind of going to go through some thoughts around high management soybeans. So we can do a lot of things with soybeans. We can't control the environment, but we sure can control some of the different practices that we do through the growing season to try to get us to that next level in soybeans. So over the last 4 or 5 years, it's really come to light in terms of trying to increase our soybean productivity. A lot of talk about getting 100 bushel soybeans as far as field averages, and so just want to talk with Mark a little bit today about what are some of the key drivers that we talk about. So Mark, when we talk about soybeans and we talk about high management soybeans, probably the first thing comes to mind is planting date.
So planting date's been really important over the last 4 or 5 years. A lot of guys have focused on that. Some guys have actually bought another planter so they could plant corn and soybeans at the same time and to hit that window. But with earlier soybeans also comes some risk. It's going to increase your risk of sudden death and also that early frost that everyone's worried about. So
what are some of the things that you'd recommend? You brought up sudden death. Granted, that's always a concern when you're planting early. How are you mitigating that with your growers? What kind of recommendations are you making there?
So for sudden death, we actually use Saltro on our soybeans that are planted early. Typically anything that we plan on planting before May 10th, we'd like to put Saltro on them for sudden death, and that will help them get through that time period there where sudden death seems to really increase if you're planted in that window. Also, we use fungicide insecticide Cruiser Max to help with early vigor, along with flotegic molybdenum, which will also help with that early vigor. This specific grower here north of Alexander, this field's been corn on corn for several years. These beans were inoculated. They had fungicide insecticide and also Saltro, along with flotegic moly, which will help with that early vigor, and it'll help that seed get through those cold periods that we had. And I expect this grower to see a large return on that this year.
So would there be any other things that you would have done in terms of fertility, potentially, that may be a little bit different for those guys that are really trying to shoot for the stars and have really high productive soils? Tell us a little bit about what some of the recommendations you might have there in terms of product, fertility wise, and the application timing of this product.
So this grower, he has a hog farm that's close to this field, and it's been, over the years, had quite a bit of hog manure on it. Fertility is good. It is optimum for raising good corn and good soybeans on. This year, what we did for this soybean field was we spread the potash in the fall, got it worked in. The field was limed 3 falls ago, so the pH levels are good on it. We did our potash last fall, give that potash time to break down. Then we came in this spring, we used MES 10, which is our, it's DAP with sulfur, and we put Wolftrax boron with that as well, blended it together, spread it in front of the field cultivator, and then it was lightly worked in the field cultivator and planted that same day, all on April 7th.
So Mark, I heard you make the comment around boron being kind of a secondary nutrient or a micronutrient. So do you have plans to come back in here as we go through the growing season to kind of try to address any kind of hidden hunger that might be there soybean wise and try to impact yield through any kind of micronutrient packages?
Our post-application herbicide, this one already has the pre on it. The post-application herbicide, we plan on coming back with Monty's boron, which will help translocate those sugars through the plant. And then we're also going to add in Monty's sulfur, which is going to help with the nodulation. It'll help the soybean move nutrients throughout the plant as well. So, and then we're going to also be adding our NutriFuse DBX. It's going to have a load of zinc, manganese, and boron and sulfur as well, with a little bit of nitrogen. And we're going to do that post-application, and then we're also going to come back with the fungicide application and add that in as well.
So there will be a fungicide application made of this field?
Yes.
At R2, R3 time frame?
Yes, there will be. We'll be using Miravis Top with Indigo ZC. also with our NutriFuse DBX, and that'll be sprayed aerially.
So you can tell, folks, Mark's done a lot of recommendation here on trying to put together a really sound soybean plan for this grower. Just to kind of tie everything together, we have a My Yield contest where we're trying to achieve 100 bushel soybeans, and this field actually is signed up in it, and we're really excited to see where we kind of turn out in terms of where this yield falls in for the 2021 growing season. So that's all we have for today, and we'll catch you down the road with another Field Insight Minute here in the future. Thank you.